Canada, the world's second largest country after Russia, is celebrated for its vast landscapes and vibrant multicultural society. As a constitutional monarchy with two official languages, English and French, Canada has long embraced policies that respect and celebrate ethnic, cultural, and religious diversity. Over the past century and a half, the Muslim community has grown from a barely visible presence of 13 individuals in 1871 to nearly 2 million today, making Islam one of the fastest-growing religions in the country. The recorded history of Muslims in Canada dates back to the mid-19th century. Early Muslim presence was minuscule. The 1871 Canadian census documented only 13 Muslims, a figure that underscored their near invisibility in the early years of Canadian Confederation. These early pioneers were primarily adventurers and laborers, often arriving from regions as diverse as the Ottoman Empire in South Asia. Although their numbers were very few, they laid the groundwork for a future community that would eventually flourish in a country committed to multiculturalism. In the early decades, Muslim immigrants came mostly as transient laborers or traders. By 1901, the number had increased slightly, and by 1911, as migration routes opened, more Muslims began settling in the country. Early settlements were concentrated in Ontario and the Western provinces. One significant milestone was the establishment of the first Canadian mosque in Edmonton in 1938, the Al-Rashid Mosque, which served a small community of about 700 immigrants, primarily of European origin. This mosque not only became a center of worship, but also a symbol of perseverance and hope for future generations. Canada's immigration policies underwent a radical transformation in the 1960s when European preferences were removed, paving the way for new immigrants from Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and beyond. With the introduction of the multiculturalism policy in 1971, Canada officially recognized and celebrated diversity, allowing communities like the Muslims to maintain their cultural and religious identities while integrating into Canadian society. The policy change spurred a significant increase in Muslim immigration, and over the following decades, the community grew exponentially. By the turn of the millennium, the number of Muslims in Canada had more than doubled since the early 2000s. According to the 2001 census, there were approximately 579,645 Muslims, representing around 2% of the population. Fast forward to the 2021 census, and the number had surged to nearly 1,775,715, accounting for roughly 4.9% of the population. This rapid demographic shift is attributable to both continued immigration and higher birth rates within the community. Statistics Canada confirms that the Muslim population is not only growing numerically, but is also significantly younger, with a median age of about 30 compared to 41 for the overall Canadian population. One of the most striking aspects of Islam's rise in Canada is the community's remarkable diversity. Today, Canadian Muslims come from over 60 ethno-cultural backgrounds. In metropolitan areas like Toronto, the Greater Toronto Area alone is home to nearly 425,000 Muslims, comprising people of Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Indian, Iranian, Arab, Turkish, Bosniak, Albanian, and African descent, among others. This diverse tapestry is also reflected in language. While nearly half of Muslim households use English as their primary language, substantial segments also speak Arabic, French, Urdu, and other languages. In Quebec, the Muslim community includes a significant number of North African immigrants, while in the prairies, immigrants from the Balkans and the Middle East contribute to the local mosaic. This diversity enriches Canadian society and creates a dynamic community that shares a common faith while celebrating distinct cultural traditions. The vibrant mix of cultures among Canadian Muslims not only enhances the community's resilience, but also deepens Canada's overall commitment to multiculturalism. The growth of the Muslim population naturally led to the development of Islamic infrastructure across Canada. The construction of mosques and Islamic centers began in earnest in the early 20th century with the founding of the Al-Rashid Mosque in Edmonton. This landmark institution, built in 1938, was the first purpose-built mosque in the country and now stands as a historical monument at Fort Edmonton Park. In the 1960s and 1970s, as the community expanded, new mosques began to appear in major urban centers. For instance, in 1968, the first mosque in Toronto was established by Bosniak and Albanian immigrants who transformed an old Catholic school into a place of worship. Over the years, many mosques and Islamic centers have been built, serving not only as religious sanctuaries but also as community hubs where educational programs, interfaith dialogues, and social services are provided. Prominent institutions include the Islamic Association of Nova Scotia, which has been serving the region since 1966, and the Islamic Cultural Center of Quebec City, founded in 1985 to cater to the local Muslim population. In British Columbia, the British Columbia Muslim Association oversees several mosques and Islamic schools in the Greater Vancouver area. These institutions have been instrumental in fostering a sense of belonging and in promoting the integration of Muslims into Canadian society while preserving their unique cultural and religious identities. The impact of Canadian Muslims extends far beyond their places of worship. In politics, figures such as Ahmed Hussein and Iqra Khalid have risen to prominence, advocating for policies that protect civil liberties and promote social justice. Their efforts have helped shape Canada's political landscape and ensure that issues of discrimination and human rights receive due attention. Muslim entrepreneurs have also made significant contributions to the Canadian economy. From small businesses to large corporations, Muslim Canadians are active in sectors such as technology, healthcare, retail, and finance. These businesses not only contribute to economic growth, but also provide employment opportunities within the community. In the realm of arts and culture, Muslim Canadians are breaking barriers and challenging stereotypes. Filmmakers, writers, and artists are using their creative talents to tell authentic stories that reflect the rich cultural heritage of their communities. Television shows like Little Mosque on the Prairie have brought humor and insight into everyday Muslim life, helping to foster a greater understanding and acceptance among non-Muslims. Moreover, Muslim-led organizations play a critical role in social services and advocacy. Groups such as the National Council of Canadian Muslims, NCCM, and Islamic Relief Canada work tirelessly to support refugees, operate food banks, and promote educational initiatives. These organizations also serve as voices for the community, advocating for policies that address systemic discrimination and support the integration of newcomers. Despite these positive contributions, Canadian Muslims continue to face significant challenges. Islamophobia and discrimination remain pervasive issues that affect everyday life. High-profile incidents such as the Quebec City mosque shooting and other hate crimes have had a profound impact on community morale. Such acts of violence and prejudice not only threaten the physical safety of individuals, but also create an atmosphere of fear and alienation. Economic disparities also pose a challenge. Many Muslim Canadians, particularly recent immigrants, encounter barriers to employment due to discriminatory hiring practices and the non-recognition of foreign credentials. These economic challenges can hinder the community's full integration into Canadian society. Nevertheless, the resilience of the community is evident in its collective response to such adversities. Grassroots initiatives, community advocacy, and government programs, such as the Office of the Special Representative on Combating Islamophobia, established in 2023, are steps toward addressing these systemic issues. For the vast majority of Muslim Canadians, a strong sense of belonging and attachment to Canada prevails. Surveys show that over 80% of Muslim Canadians are proud of their Canadian identity and are committed to integrating into society while maintaining their religious and cultural heritage. This dual commitment enriches the national mosaic and contributes to Canada's reputation as a tolerant, multicultural society. Integration is not without its complexities. The community continues to navigate the delicate balance between preserving distinct cultural traditions and embracing the broader Canadian identity. Programs in schools, community centers, and media initiatives all play a role in fostering mutual understanding and acceptance. As Canadian society evolves, so too does the role of its Muslim citizens, who are increasingly influential in shaping the country's cultural, economic, and political future. Looking ahead, the prospects for Islam in Canada are very promising. With a youthful population, a growing number of institutions, and an ever-expanding network of community organizations, Canadian Muslims are poised to continue making significant contributions to the nation. The continued growth of the halal industry, educational achievements, and political representation are all indicators of a robust future. As the community overcomes challenges and builds upon its achievements, It will undoubtedly play a pivotal role in furthering Canada's multicultural ideals. In conclusion, the rise of Islam in Canada, from 13 individuals in 1871 to nearly 2 million today, is a powerful narrative of resilience, diversity, and growth. Canadian Muslims have built a vibrant community through the establishment of mosques, cultural centers, and advocacy organizations. Their contributions span politics, business, the arts, and social services, enriching the Canadian tapestry in countless ways. Despite ongoing challenges such as discrimination and economic disparities, the strong sense of identity and belonging among Muslim Canadians bodes well for the future. The story of Islam in Canada is not only one of remarkable numerical growth, but also of deep cultural integration and lasting contributions to the nation's development. As the Muslim community continues to thrive, its members remain committed to building bridges, fostering understanding, and ensuring that Canada remains a beacon of multicultural acceptance. The future of Islam in Canada is bright, promising further enrichment of a diverse and inclusive society.